Hey, hi. In this video, I will show you how we can create Azure SQL database using Terraform and deploying via GitHub Actions. Okay. So as you see in my screen, so my setup is completely ready now. We are ready for the demo. Whereas to know more about how you can set up these environment, like creating a GitHub account, setting the repositories, GitHub Actions, and secrets, please do watch my previous videos where I have explained everything from the scratch. And also please do subscribe my channel. That would really encourage me a lot. Okay, with that, let's get started. Okay, as you see here, I have one branch with the name called future branch 1. So that is my development branch where I will be doing my coding, right? That is infrastructure as a coding using Terraform. Whereas I have one more branch which is sitting in the GitHub account. That is a main branch which I will denote it as a main branch. Okay, so that is the branch through which I will be deploying, and this is my future branch on which I will be coding, and I will be creating a plan on the Terraform. Okay, so as you see here, so this is my repo. Okay, yeah, this is my repo where I have all the required settings. So as you see here, so this is my workflow settings. It contains Terraform apply and the Terraform plan. Okay, so the Terraform plan is pointing to future branch. Terraform apply is pointing to a main branch. Okay, so the future branch is meant for creating a plan. Okay, so that plan will help me to identify if I have coded everything in a right way or not. Okay, and the Terraform apply. So the Terraform apply workflow is pointing to main branch through which I will be deploying the required configurations. Okay, so that's a basic brief about my workflow configurations. Yeah, so inside this my repo, I have the one folder with the name template. Okay, so under the template, I'm keeping ARM template. So the name is payload.json. So this you as you see here. So I will walk you through this the same JSON file later while I explain the other part of the code. Similarly, I have two more files with the Terraform extension, that is main.terraform and the create SQL database.terraform file. Okay, so these are the two files are sitting in the root of my repo. Okay, yeah. So let me quickly walk you through the main.terraform file. So I will just give you the brief. So this is the as the name says, this is the main file which is responsible for establishing the connection, and it will keep the track of my infrastructure in the terraform.state file. Okay, so that is the purpose of this main.terraform file in this in my repo. Whereas as you see, the one more Terraform file with the name called create SQL database.terraform, right? So this is the original code file which contains the which contains all the codes, end-to-end code declarations with respect to the SQL database creation, right? So let me quickly walk you through this code, and then later we can move on the demo. Okay. So as you see here, let me start from the beginning. Okay, here I'm declaring one variable, and that variable is an array. So it contains a reason. So reason is my variable name, and the so again the keyword for declaring the variables in the Terraform file is variable itself, and the value of the variable is reasons. And inside this one we have two reasons. Okay, one is east to west, and the other one is the west to west. Yeah, so with that, let's go to the next variable. So the next variable is kind locals. So locals is again a keyword from the Terraform, which will help you to store the variables. Okay, so here I'm storing again an object. So the object is tag, and it contains three tag values, that is managed by managed is the keyword, and the value is this one. Similarly, the other two tags as well. Okay, so that's the one more local variables. And the next code is the next chunk is meant for creating the resource group, right? So as you see here, this is the chunk. This is the chunk of code which is responsible for creating the resource group which I want to be provisioned. Okay, to be provisioned for storing my SQL database and SQL server, right? So let me quickly walk you through that one as well. So this is my keyword, that is Azure RM underscore resource underscore group. So that is the keyword for creating the resource group, or the resource type for creating the resource group. Again, this is my variable, and inside this flower bracket block, we are giving the required variables for creating the resource group. That is the name of the resource group. Again, the name of resource group is dynamic. Okay, as you see, as the name of the resource group is dynamically created as the first part. Okay, the first part of the resource group is static, and after that I'm just appending a dynamic variable. So as you see here, the dynamic variable is dollar count dot index. Nothing but it will just give the index, okay, the index value of variable reasons. Okay, so it can be 0 or 1. So henceforth, my resource group names will be Azure hyphen SQL DB hyphen RG hyphen 0 or and 1 will be my resource groups. Okay, and the location is again I'm referencing from the above variable. Okay, so the variable is again regions, so from there only I'm just denoting the required locations while creating the resource group. Yeah, and then so then we are attaching the tags. Okay, the tags values are the same tags which will be adding on my resource groups. Okay, so these tags will be appended to my RG. Okay, yeah, and so the below block. Okay, so the below block is meant for creating the SQL server. As you know that we to create a SQL database in Azure, we must be creating an SQL server, right? So this is the block which will be responsible for creating a SQL server. Okay. So here you go. So here this is the keyword or the Terraform resource type for creating the Azure SQL server. Okay. So the value is Azure RM underscore SQL underscore and server. Okay, so that is the keyword for it, and this is my variable. Inside that again I'm providing the required variables. Okay, so let me quickly walk you through that one as well. As you see here, the count. Okay, again the count is nothing but the number of items present in the reason variable, right? So reason is an again array and that contains 2 items. Henceforth the count will be 2. So the logic behind this one is the count is used for iterating purpose, right? So this block will be iterated twice because I have the 2 items in an array and the count of the 2 item equal to 2. Henceforth the block will be iterated twice. Okay. Yeah, so then the next one is the name of my SQL server. The name of my SQL server is again I'm generating it dynamically because I want 2 SQL server, right? One to host my original SQL database, and the other one to host for the SQL failure purpose. Okay, so let me explain the what is the SQL failure group in the next below code. Okay, and this is the resource group. Again, I'm adding the required resource group value dynamically. Okay, so this is the chunk which will be doing that, and the location value is again retrieved dynamically. Yeah, and after that the version, right? So this is the version. Yeah, so this is the version. So version is equal to 12.0. So this is you are free to give according to the availability. Yeah. Then as you know that to create a SQL server, we should be providing user ID and the password. Okay, so that is administrator login and administrator login password. So the same value will be provided dynamically here, statically here. But I would recommend you to create it dynamically. Okay, so again I'm adding the tags here again. Yeah. Then I'm creating the SQL Server firewall. Okay, so the firewall is must and should. Henceforth, I'm just showcasing you that how you can add the SQL firewall rules on the SQL Server. Okay, so this is the block which you will be doing that. Again, we are using the iterative type of coding, which will be very dynamic. Okay, so here again the count equal to 2. Henceforth, this block, okay, this code block will run for twice. Okay, since the count equal to 2, right? So henceforth it will run for 2 times. Yeah, and this is the name of the firewall. So the name of the firewall again I'm giving it as a static value. So henceforth this is the my value for the SQL firewall rule, and the resource group name, because again the resource group name is again dynamically been created, which will referring to the above created resource groups. Okay, indeed. Yeah, then the SQL server name, and then the SQL server name is again it is referencing to the above created SQL servers. So then those SQL servers will be created dynamically, right? So henceforth it is referencing to those values as well here. Then the start and the end IPs, right? The start and end IPs are again I'm adding it as a statically. You are free to change those as well. Okay, so that's all about the SQL firewall. Let's go to the again the core resource, that is SQL database. Okay, so this is Azure SQL database pass. Okay, that is nothing but platform as a service. Okay, so this is the block which will be responsible for creating the Azure RM SQL database. Okay, then again it is a resource, and the keyword for creating the Azure SQL database is Azure RM underscore SQL underscore database. Okay, so this is the resource type which will be responsible for creating the SQL database pass in the Azure. So this is the main. Yeah, so this is the variable which will be storing the data. And inside the flower bracket block, we are giving the required parameters. The name is again static one. As you see, this is the name which I have given here. The resource group, so this is the resource group. Again, I'm dynamically referencing to the above resource group. That is the, as you see here, I'm giving the index 0. Nothing but it will fetch the resource group name which is created first. Okay, so the resource group with the star, with the name like star hyphen 0, so that name will be retrieved here. Again, the location. Okay, so this database will be created to the 0th item of my variable location, right? So what is the 0th location? 0th item in the reason reason array variable, right? So this is east to west, so right. So our SQL database pass will be created in the east to west then. Yeah, so that is the location value. And the server name, so nothing but it will point to the server which will be sitting in the east to west again. So henceforth the value will be dynamically retrieved by using this syntax. Okay, please follow the syntax to do the same as well. And the addition is standard, and the required objective name. Okay, so the service objective name is S1. Again, I'm appending the same tags. Okay, so the why I'm adding the tags often is, this is the way that you can add the tags on the tags on the respective services, right? So that's the reason I have added the tags, so that it will help you to understand how the tags can be added via Terraform, right? Yeah, then this is my last block. Okay, so this block is responsible for running an Azure RM deployment. Okay, Azure Resource Group deployment. You might be knowing that resource group deployment is nothing but a template deployment, so through which we can provision the resources, right? So you might have already tried like deploying the Azure Resource Group deployment via PowerShell, CLI, or etc. Okay, some other SDKs as well, right? So similarly, how you can deploy the Azure RM template via Terraform. So this is the block which can do that. Okay, as you see here, so this is my this is the keyword for deploying doing that. That is the keyword. That is the Terraform resource type for resource group deployment, right? So Azure RM underscore template underscore deployment is the keyword for creating the deploying the ARM template, right? Okay. So then this is my variable which will be storing the data of this task. Okay. So inside the flower bracket block, I'm just giving the required parameters. One is the name, right? Definitely you should be giving the ARM template. Okay. So this is my ARM template name. Yeah. And the resource group. So the resource group on which this template has to be deployed, right? So as you see here, we are deploying that template on the RG1. That is nothing but the RG index 0, right? Then the template body, this is the template body is nothing but my JSON file, that is ARM template. So ARM template will be in a JSON format, right? So henceforth I'm just giving the template body to a path. Okay, this is the path where my template body is being residing. Henceforth I'm giving that. Okay, yeah. And after this one I will walk you through that JSON file as well. Then this is the mode of my ARM template deployment, that is incremental. So incremental is nothing but if the resource is already created, it will just update it. Okay, so that's what the deployment mode incremental does. Okay, then after that we are providing the required parameters which is needed for deploying that ARM template. Okay, yeah, so the inside the for that one the keyword is parameters. So inside that I'm giving the inside the flower bracket we are providing the required parameters, that is the SQL server. So we here why for I mean let me tell you why we are deploying this ARM template is we are deploying the ARM template to create a SQL failure group. Okay, so to create the SQL failure book I'm doing that task via ARM template. Okay, yeah, so let me tell you that explicitly. So the parameter required to do that task is SQL server primary name, primary server. So what is the primary server for that? And what is the SQL database which needs to be added in a failure group? So this is my SQL database. Yeah. Then the name of the SQL failure group. So this will be my SQL failure group name. So yeah, this is the my SQL failure group name. And the partner servers. Okay, so the partner servers is nothing but the second server which will be hosting the database, right? So that's the name. And what is the resource group as well for that, right? As you see here, so I'm for these two values I'm referencing the resource group, that is with the index 1, right? So 0 is meant for the primary database, the one resource group with the indentation 1, it is meant for the failure purpose, right? So let me give you some brief about why we want the failure group. So let's say your database is now hosting in the east to west, right? That is one location. Let's say something happens, something bad happened, the SQL server which is sitting in the east to west is down now. So in that case, the service is unavailable. When the service is unavailable, your business will be affected, right? So to avoid such kind of downtimes, Azure provides the inbuilt capability called SQL database failover. Nothing but the service will be automatically up and running in the second location in such cases. Okay, so that is the reason for SQL database failover. Then let me take you to the finally let me walk you through the ARM template. Okay, you might be knowing the ARM template syntax. Okay, so ARM template will be written in a certain syntax that contains the parameter. So parameter is again an object. Okay, so that object contains the parameters. One is the SQL primary name, then the same parameters will be available here. Okay, as you see here, so SQL failover group, partner server name, SQL database name, correct? Yeah. Then the location. So the location here is dynamically retrieved. Okay, so here the default value. So default value is where I'm retrieving from by using the JSON, that is by using the inbuilt functions, right? So I'm using the inbuilt function with the name resource group, and I'm from the resource group I'm getting the location, right? So and this location will be used to create the failover group. Okay, so that's about the parameter block. And let me walk you through the variable. So variable is nothing but local to this ARM template. Okay, so what is the variables that I'm using? That is the partner arrays. That is nothing but the partner servers. Okay, so this array will contain the partner servers name. So again, the values of the partner servers is again retrieved from the parameters, right? As you see here, it has been referencing from the parameters itself. Then the RGs, again the resource group is again retrieved from the parameters. Okay, this is the array block. Okay, yeah, so let me take you to the resource graph. So this is the original block which is responsible for creating the SQL failover group, right? So it's again an array inside the resources. Let me tell you, ARM template resource property is always array. Okay, but in our requirement we are creating the one single resource. Okay, henceforth it's in a single flower bracket block. Okay, whereas if you are creating multiple resources, you would be separating it via comma here. Okay, so that is an additional thing that I would like to tell you here. And after that, inside the resource graph, so let me quickly walk you there. So as you see here, it contains its own syntax. Okay, I would recommend you to explore the what is the ARM template sequence syntax or schema. Okay, please go through that, then you will understand these explanations. One is the API version. So this is my API version for this resource deployment, and this is my type. So this is my resource type which I will be provisioning via ARM template. Yeah, then the name of my SQL server, this is my name. And inside the failover group, so failover group has its own properties, right? So again, the properties values will be provided by this block. The server name, yeah, this is my server name, which is again referencing from the parameter. Then the copy, right? The partner server, the count is again the what is the count of length of the array, right? That is partner server array, that is one. And the ID, right? This is the resource ID, nothing but partner server ID will be retrieved here, right? And after that, the read write endpoints. So read write endpoint is again making it as a failure policy is automatic. And the data loss is minimum period of the failover with the data loss grace period is 60 minutes, right? So this is what so as you see here, grace period before the failover with the data loss is attempted to for the read write endpoint. If the failover is automatic, then the failure with data loss grace period is required. So that's what the value that's what the denotation of this parameter is says. Okay, then the read only endpoints. Okay, then again I have added it as a disabled. Then finally, so this is the must and should parameter, that is the database. So nothing but my SQL database. Okay, where I will be I'm getting the database ID via resource ID functions. Okay, so these are the ARM inbuilt functions. Okay, so that's it. So this is what the ARM JSON file definition is, and it is responsible for creating a failover group. Okay, as you see here, I'm currently in the future branch, and which is already been synced. Okay, so this code which I have already walked you through is already been synced. Okay, so now let me take you to the directly to the demo. As you see, this is my GitHub account, and this is my repo where I'm storing my code. Okay, so let me show you that code as well. So as you see here, so this is my code and this is my main branch. It contains a workflow folder, template folder, and then the other two Terraform files. Okay, so that makes my complete repo. Okay, so inside that I have actions as I shown in the code walkthrough as well. So I have two action. One is Terraform apply, and the Terraform plan. So Terraform plan is meant to run when I merge, okay, when I merge my changes to the future branch, okay. So I use future branch for coding purpose. So whenever I code something and I publish my code to my future branch, then automatically this workflow action will be kicked in, okay. So henceforth, once that code is I have merged it, it has already ran it, okay. As you see, it has taken 14 seconds. So let me quickly walk you through the logs as well. As you see here, so the Terraform plan has successfully run without any error. It says it is creating the resource groups, as you see. So this is it's creating the resource groups, okay. And in general, indeed, it is creating the resource group with the name 0, ending with 0 and 1, right? So that's what I have explained earlier, right? So and again below that, it is creating a SQL database. As you see, it is creating the SQL database as well. And yeah, so that is properties of SQL database. Then it is creating a SQL firewall. SQL firewall meant for one server that is sitting in the 0, and the other server which is sitting in the SQL1, in the RG1, right? Then finally, it is creating an SQL server. It is actually, indeed, it is creating a two SQL server, one with the name 0 and other with the name -1, right? So yeah, so this is the log says. And finally, it is deploying the ARM template, and the body of the ARM template will be shown in the code itself. As you see, the same code which we have referenced by the file path, right? So that is being displayed here. And the finally summary says it's going to create 8 resources, 0 changes and 0 destroy. Okay, we are there. Yeah, we have completely scanned through the plan, and we are happy with it. So let's directly jump into the Terraform apply stage. Okay, so I have already created a pull request for it. Okay, once we merge the pull request to the main branch, then only my Terraform apply pipeline will be kicked in. So let me merge it. So I have, as you see here, I just merged it. And so let's see if the Terraform apply stage got kicked in, right? So as you see here, it got kicked in. So it will start to provision the required resources in my subscription like this. Okay, so this is my subscription. Okay, so as you see here, I'm not doing anything via manually, right? Everything is happening via source code, right? And we are writing the infrastructure in a Terraform, which is highly used infrastructure as a coding language, right? So this is the pure infrastructure as a coding method, okay. Yeah, so let me parallelly walk you through and explain the what actually Terraform will do during the Terraform apply stage, right? So as you see here, it has run the pre steps. Now it is currently running the Terraform apply stage. So since it is creating the 8 resources, okay, as we seen in the Terraform plan stage, where in the summary it says it's going to add the 8 changes to my subscription. So it will be deploying the eight resources to my subscription. So as the logs getting appearing here, as you see here, so it's currently creating the two SQL server, one with an denotation 0 and other one is denotation with the 1, right? And it is in progress. So the both, so Terraform is intelligent enough to define the dependence, right? So as it identified that the both the SQL servers can be created parallelly, right? Or in a asynchronous way. So that's the reason it is trying to provision the SQL server and the SQL server 0 and 1 parallelly. As you see here, it got completed. The SQL server 0, 1 got completed successfully. It is provisioning the 0 as well. Correct. Yeah. So this is, and it also represents, it also shows the ID of the service which got created successfully. Okay. So we need to wait for at least 8 to 9 minutes so that it finishes up the its task. Okay, because as I said, like it's a lengthy process of creating the multiple resources, and it's a big demo, right? So henceforth it would be taking time, and I believe that this is worthy for you to go through the logs. Okay, I always recommend you to go through the logs because once you parallelly go through the logs, you will understand that what actually Terraform is doing. Once you know that what how the Terraform works, then you will be gaining the knowledge. Okay, you will be gaining the knowledge which will help you to code the Terraform according to your environment or according to your requirement. Okay, so that is the benefit of going through the logs. Okay, so it has successfully created the SQL server 0 as well. Now I think it has created the firewall rule of both server 0 and server 1 as well. So this is the for server 0, and this is the firewall rules for server 1 as well, SQL server 1 as well. Now currently it is spinning up the SQL database. Okay, as you see here, So let me parallelly show you. It should be created. There should be two RGs been created. Yeah, here you go. It has successfully created two RGs. One with the name Azure SQL DB RG0, and the other one is Azure SQL database RG-01, right? So where where RG0 is meant for acting as an primary resource group which will be storing our SQL database. So East US is our primary, West US is our secondary. Okay, so and those will be consumed at so East US will be sitting at the failover groups. Okay, so I will show you that one as well once this creation gets successfully. Okay, as you might be knowing that if you even if you create a SQL database via PowerShell, CLI, or ARM template, or invoking the ARM template via Azure PowerShell, it would definitely take this much time, right? Yeah, it has successfully created the SQL database as you see here, and it has shown the ID of the SQL database which got successfully created. Now it is creating the failover group. So right, so let me take you to the let me refresh and show you here. So this is the SQL-RG, okay, and this SQL-RG, as you see, so this is hosting the two resources. One is SQL Server. So this is the SQL Server which contains our SQL database. So this is my SQL database. So let me take you to the SQL database. Okay. So this is our SQL database which will be hosting our. This is the SQL Server which will be hosting our SQL database. So this is the original resource which we wanted through the infrastructure as a coding methodology, right? So as you see, the database is now ready and it is online, right? So and it is ready to use. Okay. As you see that this resource is hosted in East US. Okay, the somewhere in the East US region, the Azure Cloud data center is hosted, and there the service is running. So that is like in-depth explanation about where the service is running. Yeah. So finally, let's wait for the failure group to create. That marks the completion of our SQL database demo, right? So for parallelly, let me show you the what is the resources been created in the SQL in the RG01. So as you see here, here is the SQL server. So here there won't be here it will have only one SQL server but there won't be a database because the required databases is now running on the East US. Okay, so this database will be like first it will be sitting on the East US, and which will be acting as a primary. If the primary region goes down, this database will be moved to the secondary location, and the secondary location database service is already running. Okay, so this server will catch those. This server will host that database if the primary database goes down. Okay, so that is the logic behind SQL database failover. Correct. So finally, let's wait for this SQL failure group to create. Once this failure group is created, that marks our completion of this demo. Okay, and let me again reiterate you, please do watch my previous videos where I have explained everything from the scratch in regards to how to set up the environment, okay, through which you can do it. This is not only pertaining to the particular education type, it is meant for even for the organization level consumption. Okay, so even organization like big organization also can watch these videos and also can consume it. Okay, so I'm following the standard. Okay, I cannot show that I cannot confirmly tell that I'm touching the everything, or it's an ideal case of hosting the database, but as a standard I'm touching the every basement of SQL database to be created. Okay, so this video is meant for real time consumption base. Okay, yeah, so here you go. It has successfully created the failure group as well. Okay, so hence for the Terraform action got successfully completed. Terraform apply action got successfully completed. As you see here, the final ID of the SQL failure group is here, this one. And yeah, that's it. In the summary, it says like it has already added the 8 resources, 0 changes and 0 destroy. Okay, yeah, so that's it. So that's a complete demo. So let me finally show you. Finally, I will show you the failure group being created on the primary server. So this is our primary server in the East US. As you see here, the failure group is already been created with the required configurations been shown here. Okay, that's it. That marks the completion of my demo on how to create the Azure SQL database pass using Terraform. Okay, and for via deploying via GitHub Actions. That's it. Thanks for watching my videos, and also please do subscribe my channel. That would really encourage me a lot. With that, thank you. Thanks a lot.